sit down with Nedbank now. Welcome back to the program. You're still watching Nedbank Business Watch. It is Wednesday, and as November draws to a close, marking, of course, the end of International Fraud Awareness Month, it's very crucial to emphasize that the fight against fraud doesn't pause with the calendar, but rather scammers remain relentless, preying on unsuspecting individuals daily, really every day. And we're now entering the peak season, which is, of course, the festive season. Black Friday is here, just a day away, and it is a time when transactions hit their highest and vulnerabilities often surface. But today, Nedbank is here to empower us to, most importantly, show how the same technology exploited by fraudsters can be used to defend ourselves and protect our finances. Si Palele Makakula Shabang, Nedbank's forensic risk manager, is here. She's in studio, going to guide us through the security features of the Nedbank app and how they can help safeguard you this festive season. An important conversation as I welcome you to the program, Spalele. A very good afternoon to you. Hoping that on your way here, the weather hasn't turned treacherous as they promised.
No, not yet.
Okay, good enough.
Thank you.
Let's get into this conversation that has become treacherous to a lot of people, so to speak. You know, what are some of the security tips that you can share with the public that could be helpful during this festive season?
Thank you so much. So I think what is important, should we rather go back to the app?
Okay.
To say that this app has security features that will help us in terms of protecting us, using the same technology that were exploited in to protect us. So as an Nedbank client, there's 3 key features that you should know about.
Okay.
That is freezing your card, blocking or cancelling your card, and then reporting of fraudulent transactions. Okay. Now, the reason you need to know these features is that in an event you suspect that there's fraudulent transactions happening into your account, you can then just block your card at the tip of your hand. You don't need to call the branch to report it. You can just report it on your app. That means in seconds you can be reporting.
So 3 features: freezing, cancelling and blocking.
Yes.
What's the third one again?
Reporting of fraud.
Yes. What does freezing look like? Is that like a temporal solution to see whether you can still reclaim it?
Yes. For instance, let's say you can't find your card right now. So the best thing to do, rather freeze it, just in case someone took it.
So they can't tap, they can't
do anything, and nothing. It's basically disabled. No functionality can happen with that card. So you're freezing it. Yes.
And I suppose upon the realization that you have indeed lost it, that is when you can cancel or block it.
Certainly.
And then get a new one.
Yes, and you actually even reorder a new one in the app.
And I suppose that should be a fast or rather convenient way from Nedbank and being sorted out, I believe.
Certainly.
Okay. Let's speak on, some of the other features that are key, which people are not most aware of.
Thank you. Now, this is a profile management. I think most people tend to pay attention to the reporting of the fraud functionality. Now, there's this key one, profile management. For profile management, there's this feature that speaks to adjusting limits. That's the limit. We know that you can adjust your ATM limit, increase, what you pause transactions, you can increase, decrease them, what you can transfer, increase, decrease. That is fine. That is normal. But there's a key feature in that application. Now, that is your alert maintenance. Basically, you're telling the application that any activity that happens in my application, this is the phone number that I need to be alerted on.
Okay.
So if there's any activity in your profile, there's a password being reset, there's a phone number that you say should be notified.
Okay.
There's an app, the same app with your profile being loaded on another gadget. This is the notification that should come through. So this is the best way that you can basically detect when, let's say you've been compromised in other platforms. Now someone else tries to exploit you by now downloading the app in another gadget. So this is the best way that you can know what is happening. You can actually even prevent it. Now, this is detecting when someone is attempting to reset your password. Then you can stop that from happening. So the whole process won't continue.
Right.
Exactly.
So it sort of works like some sort of a two-factor authentication.
Yes, it is. But then it won't work if you haven't selected the alert notification.
So you have to activate it.
You have to activate it.
Upon your discretion to do that.
Yes.
Very important. I'm imagining what that looks like. Does it also So let's say I'm the scammer. I've stolen your device and I'm attempting to log into your profile. Does that alert come in at my first attempt, or I have to attempt a couple of times?
No, it'll come in at the first attempt.
Oh, great.
Yes,
Okay.
come in at the first attempt.
Very important.
Very.
That is okay. We've spoken on the security measures that you have shared with, of course, the public that they can be aware of going into the festive season. With the credit card, understanding that you can disable e-commerce and enable it only when making purchases. What does that look like?
We advise you to say, credit card transactions isn't something that you do every day. It's not like, withdrawals. You rarely make credit card purchases.
Right.
So rather than having that functionality enabled, disable it and only enable it when you're making your purchases. This is to say, how parents most often give their children cell phones. Mm-hmm. And at the time when that gadget is with your child, that's a point when your gadget can be vulnerable in the sense that
Absolutely.
the settings can fall off in terms of your security features relating to your gadget itself.
Yeah.
Kids can allow certain pop-ups, so you can be compromised at that level. So. Yeah. If you disable that functionality and only enable it when you're purchasing, that's a form of security for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's delve into more security tips that our viewers can be aware of going into this important season.
Thank you. Cardinal rule. As you have a bank account, you have an app, you have a card. Make sure you know your reporting channels.
Okay.
You know where to report in your application, the actual app. Know the phone number you should call in the event there's a situation. Now, in the event you're mugged and that phone is taken from you, have a way, of how you should report. Don't have all the information on that phone such that you don't have a fallback plan in terms of reporting. All ATMs have that phone number where you can report fraud. So understand and know that in the event there's an ATM close by, you can rush to that ATM. So understand that reporting channels should always be at the back of your head. Know the phone numbers, know the email addresses where you have to report. Then secondly, most banks have the tap and pay functionality. Have that disabled. Don't enable that, especially when you're traveling, outside the country, or when you're having fun at night. Remember, when we're happy at night, we tend to have our guard down, and we can be exploited.
Yeah.
Someone can literally take your card and just keep on tapping. Even when those notifications come through, you won't pay attention because you're really happy. Yeah. So when you cross the border, you can get mugged and someone can tap away. They can even mug you on your phone, mug your phone as well, so you can't even report, instantly. So rather have that functionality disabled and enable it in rather safe environment where you're in control.
It's very interesting because I've second-hand experience with not disabling the tap and pay functionality, and I suppose it was a learning moment, a teachable moment for a friend of mine who then realized perhaps it's time to shift to Nedbank because then I can enjoy such functionalities.
Certainly.
Yeah. Let's talk about Lord itinerary dates on the app for travel.
Great. So in terms of, to protect our clients, our cards are not enabled to transact in certain jurisdictions.
Yeah.
So if you are to travel, you have to then load your itinerary. There's certain dates where you load your itinerary, where you're traveling to, and the dates that you'll be traveling. Then that will get activated for you to be able to transact in those jurisdictions. Now, what is important is that in case you come back before the dates that you're supposed to come back, notify us so that we disable those functionalities outside those jurisdiction. You understand that most of the time you'll be transacting, swiping, and your card information will be out there.
Yeah.
So rather than leaving that information out there and having unauthorized transactions, rather, if you come back before, notify us, then we disable. It's a form of control. It's there to protect our clients.
Yeah.
So if you travel, load your itinerary, and don't travel and believe that, no, your card will be able to transact. The reason the cards are closed are to protect us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very important. We are entering the festive season, but most importantly, just a day from now is going to be Black Friday. I was actually mind-boggled going through my X page, and scammers are getting smarter by the day. I saw a Sony website where a lot of men buy their consoles from. Particularly during Black Friday, they get 30%, 40% discounts. And I saw a 60% one. It looks too good to be true. But the website looks exactly, and even the website at the top looks like the original Sony website.
Yes.
And someone made the purchase and they're regretting it because over 7,000 malangeni or rands that they have lost from that. So talk to us about being cautious online, phishing attempts. We've had some conversations around this.
This is crazy because, like you say, right now is the right time for scammers to send out these crazy messages, these links to make attempts, in terms of phishing. Right now, some of us are forwarding messages to say you're going to win. Click this link, the winnings, there's this competition, there's discounts. We are forwarding those messages because those messages don't come from the air. Now remember, when you forward that message, you are actually being an accessory to this kind of crime. Yeah. So do not forward anything and do not click any links that are unsolicited. And even if now you do land on that Sony page that you often, access, make sure that the page is authentic. They're spoofed sites.
Right.
So if you go online and you search how to search for Sony authentic sites, they're going to give you tips. Any website will give you tips on how to search for their authentic site to prevent spoofed sites.
Okay.
Most importantly, if you are crossing the border, make sure that your phone is on roaming so that you're going to be receiving those notifications when those transactions come through. It's sad when Eswatini comes back home. Imagine at the border, now you're getting all those notifications.
I can't imagine that.
If you are changing your phone number, first act is that you go to your bank and notify your bank that you're changing your phone number. Don't put it off and say, no, I'll notify them soon. That's very important.
All right, let's talk about contact information for Nedbank.
Our phone number, 32 78 1999.
Right.
Then our email address is helpdesk@nedbank.co.za.
Fraud Awareness Month closes its curtains this very week. Should be 4 days now. I believe should be December very soon. And you should be vigilant. You have heard it from Palele Shabangu as to what you need to do to be vigilant and stay cautious. Let's go for a break. An interesting topic after the break, tariff hikes with Sonny Lesbia.